Hey, people. Welcome to the show, and I appreciate you being here. I want to talk about a few things today. A bunch of silly shit went on yesterday. I'm not going to really get into that because it ain't going to stop. That is the way it's going to be. First, I want to talk about a woman named Josie. Now, this woman, Josie, she's like a professional doxer. She's going in my past, literally pulled out all my Google records, my personal records. And you have people on here that's always talking about doxing, but they only talk about it when it benefits them. They want to say, I'm being doxed, I'm being doxed. People are looking into my past. If they do it to other people, though, you don't hear nothing. So people shouldn't talk about doxing unless they're going to, hold everybody to the same standard. And that's not what's happening now. So you have this woman, Josie. She's literally, I'm going to show you evidence of what she's pulling up on me. And this is when it gets really scary, when people like this woman comes along and starts pulling up records of people, criminal records of people, all that stuff. And so when you hear people talking about doxing, here's what I would say to them. Does that go for everybody or just when it happens to you? Because it should be, nobody should be looking into anybody's past, anybody's name, trying to find names or anything like that. But I'm going to show you what this woman's doing. And just so you see that I'm not exaggerating this. Okay, here's Josie right here. I'm going to start this right here from the middle. She has literally a 39-minute video. The only time she makes videos is when she's going after me. I don't know what her fascination is with me, but it's obvious that someone's put her out here to do this. But we're going to start here.
Let's see. Okay, let me find it. Okay, so all of the, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but all of these things are, okay, there's one with theft, movable property.
She's reading my record
There's another
now.
one, misappropriate ID information to obtain money. Obtaining money by deception, attaining money by deception. There's one not specified. You've got a million aliases. And these are just a few of them. Lee R. Cole, the third, but with little, the little I's with the dots over. So it makes it a little different. Lee Cole 3 with the number 3. Lee Cole the 4th. Lee R. Cole the 4th. Lee R. Cole Sr. Lee R. Cole. Lee Roy Cole 3 with the number 3. Lee, you've got all these fucking aliases, and yet you sit up there.
Here's what this woman doesn't realize. This is the mafia genre. You have a lot of people here with criminal records, and I never said I haven't had a criminal record, but she's reading my criminal records, and all my criminal records has to do with money. There's nothing else on my criminal record. There's no violence on my criminal record. There's no drugs on my criminal record. There's no hurting people. There's no hurting children on my criminal record. She's reading about my criminal record, all money stuff. And this is what she doesn't understand. Everybody here has a record, but the difference is my record is my record is things I've done to obtain money illegally in my life, and I never said otherwise. But I didn't deal drugs, and I didn't do stuff like getting cars, being a drunk driver, and all that shit, or hurting people. But we'll just continue with this lady.
Calling people frauds and liars. I mean, how do you manage to do that? How can you do that? You're calling all these people frauds and liars and stolen valor and this and that. And
She's mocking stolen valor. She's doing this video and attacking me for going after Ray Ramondi for stolen valor. See, this is somebody that's associated with Stacks. Stacks was a criminal that had to do, his stuff is to do with drugs and stuff. He's a nasty criminal. This woman right here is literally sticking up for Stacks and sticking up for a man with stolen valor. And she's going after me because I went after Ray Ramondi.
You know, everybody gets what stolen valor is. Nobody likes it. But, you know, from what Raymondi's saying, he was in the military.
She's defending Raymondi, saying that he was in the military. I mean, this is a sick world we live in, people. I mean, you have a group of people out here that have made it their absolute mission to come after me continuously. And all I try to do is give you good shows. But if I bring stuff up, they don't like it.
So, you know, I guess that's up to him to prove that. But at the end of the day, to tell Stacks, you know, don't platform you. Anyone platforms him, blah, 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 blah. You're the one that with the platform when you're a fraudster and basically a grifter. You are. You're basically, you've grifted your way across the United States.
I was a professional criminal, lady, that stole money. I didn't do. See, this is what we're talking about. You know, you can go to all these. You can go to all these other people that have shows, and they'll still tell you about their crimes. You know, they'll tell you whether they were big time drug dealers, they committed armed robberies, and all that stuff. The crimes I committed in my life were money crimes. That's it. But this woman is trying to make it more than this. All she does is videos attacking me. She literally went into my Google accounts, found out where I lived, and no one's saying nothing to her. You'll hear like MRE, you'll hear Fatball Sicilian. They're always talking about people being doxxed. And this lady is openly doxing people. So, you know, this lady is a doxer. That's what she is. And someone's putting her up to this. And it's obvious. I kind of know who's putting her up to it. When you do good shows and you pull up good subjects and you go after people, this is what they do. They find sleazebags like this woman. And this is what they do. But, you know, I just wanted you to understand her name. Her name is Josie, and she's a doxer. If she doesn't like what you're saying, she will come out after you. So when people start talking about doxing, just say to them, well, why isn't anybody saying anything to this woman? You know, and this is what she is. Okay. Well, I'm going to get off her case. I just wanted to introduce you to Josie, and I'm going to, I have a lot of other stuff on Josie, but I'm not going to release it because I'm not like her, you know, and this is what she's doing. She's no good. And this is what she'll put, if you go into her, if you go in and look at her stuff, every video she's done in the last 2 months is on me. You know, and you know why? She tried to call me about 2 months ago and I rejected her phone call. And ever since then, she has been like this. It is really creepy. And this woman's creepy. And to be going in and going after people and finding out about the past, especially when you go look at people's Google accounts and stuff. You know, you'll hear people, oh, I'm being doxxed. Someone tried to give my name up and all that stuff. But when they see it being done to other people, they won't say a damn word. Okay, well, I'm going to move on to something else now. As you know, that yesterday I did a show on Sammy Gravano, and 2 days ago on John Gotti and Sammy Gravano. So Sammy Gravano has sent his trolls out after me, and I want to show you this. And people say, Sammy Gravano, why would he even deal with you? because Sammy Gravano doesn't like to be called out on some of the stuff that he's done in his life. And we're going to show you. Let me get rid of this and pull up this other thing. And this is from this morning.
So, my friend Joe Vitale from the Rampage plays me this message from Lee Cole, saying if I had the balls to go on his show and do an interview with him. Like, who the fuck are you, Lee Cole? Some fucking bald child molester living out in Texas? Huh? Hiding in a trailer park? You think that I got to do an interview with you? You want to say shit about my friend Sammy the Bull, telling people that he don't have any friends? That all his friends, you are such a jerk off. All right? This is my answer to you. All right, Lee Cole? I ain't got no fucking time to spend with a jerk off like you to give you any fucking kind of information about myself or anybody I know. I don't got to prove myself to nobody. You are like the rest of the fucking jerk offs on YouTube that don't even know who Tony Pep is. You want to click on rat pages and talk about rats. Johnny A. Like. You want to talk about gay shit between me and Sammy? I'll find you in Texas and stick you in a hole. I'm not one of these guys that got federal marshals following me around. You can take that as a threat, whatever the fuck you want. I can show up anywhere, anytime, any way I want. So I'd watch what the fuck I say on fucking YouTube. You don't think that you can be got. Because you'll never know. You'll never see me. You understand? You got to make sure you keep your big mouth shut. Because you ain't dealing with these fucking blowjobs on YouTube now. You want to talk shit about me taking in the ass with Sammy? Now you disrespect my friend Sammy and me? You wouldn't be in the same. You wouldn't have the balls to come say that shit to our faces. So I wouldn't disrespect my friend being seen on an interview with a piece of shit like you, Lee Cole. You're a fucking rat bastard, right? You fucking kidnap somebody. You fucking low life. You kidding me? I never even fucking heard of you. You want to do an interview with me? It cost you $100,000. Got $100,000? Lee Cole. You think I need your fucking help? I don't need nobody's fucking help.
Okay. That gentleman right there is friends with Sammy Gravano. He actually knows Sammy Gravano. And I've been getting little threats from Sammy Gravano and people around Sammy Gravano. And that is Sammy's way, because I did a show the other day about what he said about John Gotti, because nobody else on these platforms have enough guts to talk about Sammy Gravano. You know, you can say that you're a John Gotti fan, but if you don't defend him when somebody calls him horrible names, the way that Sammy was doing the other day in his interview. And here you got this guy right here. I don't even know who this guy is. He just showed up out of the blue and put that video out there. He literally is saying to me, I can come to your house and get you. And I wanted to play that video right away because before he erased it. So basically, now you have people around Sammy Gravano that are threatening people's lives. And this is what these are the typical people like him and Jimmy Calandra. These are the people that Sammy uses. These are the people that Sammy knows he can control. And that's why you'll see Jimmy Calandra threatening me all the time or saying shit to me, just like this guy. You know, when I started coming on here, I used to really enjoy it. But now it's come to the point that I'm trying to put out good product, you know, for people to watch. But you have other channels doing shows just based on me. It's like becoming demented, making up. I had MR Mob Rats Exposed was on my show last night, and he was talking about the doxing thing that another channel was trying to say, and he said that that this other channel didn't know what they were talking about, because MRE actually knows who these doxers are, and he knows who does certain pages and stuff. And he was, if you watch my show from last night, he came on the show and said, "No, this ain't Lee. This is bullshit." And but yet you're not going to have people listening to that. You know, they like to talk about doxing and all that stuff, but they don't say nothing to a woman like Josie, who's literally looking at people's home addresses. You know, that's where we are here. And there are no sides. You know, everybody will say, I'm on John Gotti's side, I'm on John A-Light's side. There are no sides here, because people are vicious no matter what side they're on. So my advice to anybody that comes onto YouTube is be for yourself. Do your own show. Stay away from the other people, because they're quite devious. And, you know, the stuff that's been happening the last couple of days is total insanity, especially when you get accused of doing things that you're not actually doing. And it's like, can't describe it. You know, when you think that someone's your friend and they're talking to you and they're talking to another person and they're going back and forth, and then you finally find out about it. You can't have friends on YouTube. You can't. You know, and, you know, let's see. This clown Pizza talks about he never ratted, but here he is defending the biggest rat of all time. Maximilian, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. You know, this guy's defending a rat. Jimmy Calandra's a rat. And nobody understands this. They just don't get it. It's like a convenience thing. You know, people actually say, I like John Gotti and I like Jimmy Calandra. You can't like both, because one was a man that never ratted and died in jail, and the other one was a rat. You know, Sammy Gravano is the one that put John Gotti away. John Gotti died a horrible death in prison because of Sammy Gravano. Keep pretending to be someone you're not. I don't know what you mean by that, dude. Tony Pizza Peter Poster. Okay. Hey, people, if you want to answer this, you say what you want. I'll put the stuff up there. You know, there's a lot of stuff up here already. I'm going to try to get as much as I can and read it. Okay, see, Josh says, Lee loves to give nobodies a platform. Best to ignore and let it go. You're going to do a video on every person who says something about you. No, I just did a video on a man that threatened my life. He threatened to come to Texas. He literally said, I'm going to put you in a hole. You know, actually, you can't have a YouTube station and threaten another human being. I'm not going to say anything about it, but the fact of the matter is he literally threatened my life. But that's not him. That's Sammy talking through him. And she's a troll, and she's just bored. Yeah. See, Josie, people, you have to understand, Josie is a troll. Josie is working for somebody. I don't know who she's working for, But she's literally, if you go to her page, you'll see about maybe 15, 20 videos, and every video is on me. From the very beginning, it's been like continuous. And then she just did a 35-minute video yesterday, a video full of lies. But then when you dox somebody and you find out their addresses and where they used to live, that gets really creepy. Forget her. No, listen, it's not about forgetting her. It's about letting people know what she's doing. So people, if you hear another person talk about doxing or something, what you used to say to that person is, but wait a minute, you're talking about doxing, but you never said nothing about Josie. So everybody has to be treated the same here. If one person docks and gets caught, everybody should be treated the same. The real Sammy Gravano, your soulmate is you only get, okay, I don't, can you, Jesse Gaddy, can you say that in English, please? Tim Reed, you're too sensitive, U.S. medic. It is PTSD that makes you off balance. Hey, Tim, you should respect me as a military man. I actually spoke, he's a good man. So maybe you should show a little respect to the military. Release her Saturday, fire before. No, I'm not going to do that. You know, Ed, it's easy enough to release stuff on her. You know, but I'm not going to be the dirtbag she's being, because that's what she is. She's a dirtbag. I would like to come on, Lee, before you please give me my listen. Okay, listen. And I'm going to put anybody that wants to come in, as long as you show your face, I will let you up here. Right now, I'm going to put, there's an invite link right there. Anybody that wants to come in is more than welcome. But once I see you in here, though, I got to see your face, because I don't want you to come on my show and say something that can get me in trouble. Josie sucks. She does suck lemons. She's a very angry woman. She has nothing else to do in life. You know, I've been letting her get away with this for over a month now. I'm not going to let her get away with it. You know, I'm going to give her the same medicine she's giving me. Tony Pizza, another Sammy bitch. That's what it is, without a doubt, Maximilian. He has his little boys. He has his guys that he can control. And they're usually weak-minded people. Sammy's storytelling to take a fall so he can go free for 16-year-old. Kaiser killing, how the kid charged him, and Louis are all BS lies. Yes, they are, Josh. I did a video on Alan Kaiser. A matter of fact, I spoke this morning to Alan Kaiser's sister online. Alan Kaiser's mother just died, and she told me that Alan Kaiser's mother died, and she never was the same after her brother got murdered by Sammy Gravano. And then they were really upset when Sammy went on his show and lied and said the kid was running at Sammy. That's not what happened. Sammy Gravano and Louis Miletto, they just shot somebody. The kid seen it, and they executed the kid. A matter of fact, the kid called the kid over to the car. The kid goes up to the car. They shoot him in the chest. He goes on the ground, and then they put a bullet in his face. And the family couldn't even have an open casket funeral. That's Sammy Gravano. That's who the real Sammy Gravano is. And as for, then Sammy also told the story about he snitched on John Gotti because John Gotti wanted him to take the fall. But if you go back and look at the very first interview that he did when he first came out of jail, he never said that. He had a totally different reason why he snitched on Gotti. He just decided that he did not want to go to jail for John Gotti. And he basically said that. he never said that John Gotti told him to take the fall. Another lie by Sammy Gravano. This is what he does. And young people that watch him now, people that don't understand who he was a very vicious man. He tells these really horrible lies, and people believe him. Put your glass, okay, whatever that means. I don't know who Mutt is, my man. Tony Pizza's great. I get a kick out of that guy. I got a kick out of him too until he did that video. This clown Pizza talks about how he never ratted, but here he is defending the biggest. Yeah, we just read that, but that's the truth. He is defending the biggest rat of all time. Wise Guy TV, how you doing, Wise Guy? I don't know. This dude Tony seems pretty straightforward. What makes you say Sammy sent him? I'll keep that to myself, but believe me, Sammy has talked to Jimmy Calandra about getting a message to me, and this is what Sammy does. People think that Sammy doesn't want people talking about the real Sammy. He just doesn't want that. You know, people might say, well, what does Sammy know about me because I have a little tiny channel? It's true. I have a small channel. Sammy has a huge channel. But Sammy's afraid that all of a sudden more people will start speaking about him. And, you know, you can go to MTV and say to MTV, why are you giving a guy a show on your station when he murdered a 16-year-old boy? You know, little things like that. He doesn't want that to get out there. He doesn't want people to know that he dealt drugs with a white supremacist group. So he goes and meets with these black organization and acts like he's this big social guy that's all about social justice. But the fact of the matter is that he dealt drugs with white supremacists in Arizona. I mean, and then he also has a tattoo of Odin on him, which is part of the white supremacist movement. Pizza Guy is a junkie. He begs dealers for half off the bundles. Nino Chabetta, I don't know him, so I can't say he's a junkie. If you know him, you know, you could say it, but I'm not going to accuse the guy of being a junkie. I don't even know him. This fellow has been going after Jimmy, FBS, and everyone else. He's just an angry dude. Mustache Pete, how you doing, buddy? If you go to Texas, you're going to get shot. Oh, yes. I can guarantee you one thing. Anybody that comes into this town will not leave this town. Delusion of Grandeur. Okay. Anthony Lucian Ramondo versus Tony Pizza pay-per-view. Book it. They're both, are you trying to say that they're both wannabes? I mean, you know, one guy claims that he's best friends with Sammy, and then he also says that Sammy's going to give him is going to be on his show next week. So maybe Sammy's going to be on his show next week. You don't know Sammy. He needs help, the guy. Actually, I think he does know Sammy. But, you know, he also said Sammy's going to do a Zoom call with him next week. And so it's going to be interesting. If Sammy does it, that means he's telling the truth and he knows Sammy. When you go on YouTube to say what you're going to do, they are cowards and would never do anything. Okay. Is this satire? If you want to consider it satire, Lee Cole's pickled tongue. I mean, you've been around for a long time. You come on. Everything you say is an insult, but you know what? I still put you up there. Go on another show and insult the person that has that show and see if they put you up there. Jesse Gaddy, you blocked my other account. Why? I will not make a video about you. Jesse, dude, I don't block people. I got a person, a mod is in here and watches this room, this chat room. If he blocked you, you must have had a good reason. And Jesse, let's be honest, man. You're a pretty nasty dude. You know, I see you in these other people's chat rooms, and you say a lot of wicked shit about me, dude. And are you here to enjoy the show, or are you just here to be a troll? That's what you got to ask yourself. Lee blocked my account, 2 blocks, everyone for small. Dude, how can I block your account if you're here? It makes no sense. I like this. Rest in peace, Lee. A homeless wannabe assassin is coming for you. Hey, styling, profiling. Did you see that that thing on Vice TV about the flight from hell with all the wrestlers and Ric Flair was running around naked? Did you see that story? It came out a couple days ago. It was actually quite funny. Jen said, I'm very upset. I told you to stay out of the drama. If someone's doxing me, Jen, how's that drama? Am I supposed to ignore it? Just let somebody put my information about where I lived and my addresses and stuff? Threats. Yeah, bring it on. Hey, Sonny, you want me to drop you a link? You want to come on in and say hi? I'll drop you a link. What do you guys think? You guys want to see Sonny Money? What the hell? Let's see if Sonny Money comes in. Here's a link, Sonny. If that's really you, Sonny, come on in. Come say hi. Pretty Monita, happy Sunday to you. Thank you very much. The real Sammy Gravano. This guy is not my friend. If you're the real Sammy Gravano, are you talking about the pizza man? Sonny Money, protect Lee Cole at all cost. Tony Pete's a Strong Island legend. I was going to leave you till I heard. Okay, let me bring in.
You saw it too?
Hey, Sean, how you doing today?
Hi, Lee. How are you?
Insanity, Sean. Insanity. It gets crazier every day.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, we don't have no rights no more, but got to go to work at 2:00. But just stay strong, man. None of this stuff matters. It's meaningless. I've watched the man's videos. The man that looks like he's on a cell phone. The man that sent you a video.
Yeah,
I've watched his stuff. Yeah, that's mind-boggling. But I don't know. I wouldn't pay it too much attention, but he's obviously not intelligent enough to
know
understand.
that you cannot threaten people's lives.
Yeah.
especially on the internet. And let's just be honest here. Who really wants to come on social media and talk really about violence and bad things? You know, my father, before he passed away, a couple years before he passed away, he made me promise him 2 things. One was never go to prison, which I never went to prison, and never to kill anybody. And I haven't killed anybody in my life. And that's a good thing to say. You know what I mean? That's a good thing. That's a good thing to say. Honestly, God knows. You know what I mean? And I'm a better person for not living with guilt like that. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you a question. What do you think about somebody actually admitting that they're looking up your records and stuff and finding your old addresses and going through your Google accounts and then putting it out there right online?
Bullshit.
Well, that's bullshit, like my old lady just said, but it takes time, money, and energy to do that. And somebody like that, you weren't the first one they did that to.
Yeah. And you know what it is, though? These people that cry about doxing on these other channels, they don't say nothing about her because she's not doing it to them. You know?
Yeah, who knows who the lady is, Lee? That cannot even be her real name.
Oh, it's definitely not her real name. But
right.
Yeah, but it's getting kind of at the point now where she's literally doxing out in public, and all these great people that cry about doxing all the time don't say shit. That's why I don't take them serious.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Look. At the end of the day, everybody has a past, and once you start spending energies on people's past, you're going to get in people's lives, and it's not good.
A little money might get him a place further. So this guy from the pizza place said if I give him $100,000, he'll do an interview.
Lee, no disrespect towards him, but I mean, you would think he would have a nice room and a microphone and all that good stuff. I wouldn't pay no attention to it.
Well, Madman Mike says a good one. He says that creep got nothing to lose. Jail is just a room and board for him, Lee. So.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, you got a good thing going. You got a show. You have a show. You have a following, and you're talking about, topics in a genre, and that's fine. And people are the
One second, Johnny Gebberts. I can't let you in if I can't see your face. I'm sorry, man. It's nothing personal, but I had someone try to come. They came in here the other day, and I couldn't see their face, and they used the N-word 3 times. And they do that because what they try to do is get your channel shut down by yelling racist slurs. So you got to be very careful when you bring people in.
Right. Yeah, this is all new to me, Lee. I mean, like I said, somebody before the show, they're like, "Are you going to start your own channel?" I'm like, "No, I'll just come on Lee's. There's no point for me to even invest my energy."
Let me just say hi to let me just say hi to Mark. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Hey, Lee, how are you?
I appreciate you coming on.
No problem.
What's going on? You got anything you wanted to talk about?
I don't take sides. I don't like to take
sides. I don't want you to take sides.
And the only thing I have against is Ray Amaldi. It's very simple. I'm not hiding my face. Here's my name. I'm going to show you a photostat copy because my real one is in a bank safe deposit box. It's very easy.
Yep, a DD-214.
To show a DD-214, and I take great offense against anyone who claims stolen valor.
Yes, and that's what and this is what this guy's doing. And this woman, Josie, was attacking me for going after Ray Ramondi. I have 3 children in the military,
right?
For stolen valor. They think it's, people don't understand that it's a very serious thing.
It may not be too serious for people who don't have anyone in the military or they don't know anything about it. But if you ever served or if you have family members, you know how serious a stolen valor can be.
Yes, exactly.
I just wanted to come out here to show people that I am the real deal.
And I appreciate it, Mark. And
I'm going to let you get back to your show. That's all.
And I appreciate you showing that DD-214. It's that
no
simple.
Problem.
That's what that's what Anthony Ramondi could do and shut everybody up. But
look, I'll show you more than that. I'll show you like the whole thing here.
Yep. And it's that simple.
It's very simple to show it. Have a good one, Lee.
You too. Thank you.
Okay. Simple to show.
Hey, Tim, what's up?
Simple to show.
Tim, what's up? Okay, well, Tim he wants to play his. Okay, so you have anything else to say, my man?
No, I just wish you the best, Lee, on the show. And like I said, somebody made a comment earlier. If I was going to do a show, I don't have the time or the energy to do my own show. But
the only thing I would tell you if you're going to do a show,
no.
Find the right genre if you do, because on YouTube there's so many things you can do a show on. because one thing about the true crime mafia genre, it's the most vicious of all the genres.
Oh, I
And-
see that. I see that from you.
And Mob Rats was on my show last night, and he was saying that. Mob Rats said that he's never seen nothing. Now, Mob Rats goes everywhere, but Mob Rats said that he's never seen anything like it. You know, how bad it is, you know, how vicious people are on this genre, because, I don't know, I guess because they think that we talk about the mafia and stuff, they can be vicious and ugly, but.
Yeah, no, I like the content, but yeah, I mean, just to come on your show and have a voice and a view is pretty cool, Lee. And
You're welcome.
I got to go to
anytime,
work
man.
at 2:00, but like I said, it's a pleasure and thanks for having me on your show.
No problem, man. Anytime you're here, just jump right in.
Thank you, Lee. I appreciate that, and that means a lot to me.
No problem. You take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay, people, if there's anybody else that wants to come in, I'm going to put this link up. Tim Reed, I can't bring you in here unless you show your face. I don't like to bring people in I can't see, because then they could say whatever they want when they get in here. Lee, nice knowing you. Okay. Thank you. Is that like because you know that he's coming to get me? Okay, the fake Sammy, Lee, I would never send this junkie to go after you. Okay. If this is crazy every day, it is crazy. You know, it's absolutely insane. And maybe you bought some of this on yourself. Yeah, you know what, Grind Junior, you might be right. I might have bought something on myself. But when people threaten your life, you're not bringing it on yourself. And when people go in and start checking your life and going through your Google accounts, finding out your addresses where you live, that's doxing. Josie is a doxer. That's what Josie is. What's up, my man?
Hey, Lee, just one more thing. I already got a troll saying you can make up fake DD214s. I kind of expected that. That's why.
Oh, don't even worry about that. Oh, God.
Check this out. This is what you get. Right,
Exactly.
Is that
Yeah.
Is that fake too?
No.
I
Don't
staged the whole thing.
Yeah, you know something? That's probably somebody that got rejected and couldn't get into the military, or they got kicked out of boot camp and they got a general discharge.
Or just sit in their mother's basement typing bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Lee.
You
Unbelievable.
take care. Okay, Cold North, I can't see your face. If I can't see your face, Tim Reed, I can't see your face. I can't let you in. Sorry. You really think Sammy cares? Yes, Sammy definitely cares. He has a public relations campaign that he's running right now. He's trying to make himself be something he's not, a decent human being. Tonight, I'll super chat FBS if I'm around and ask him his thoughts on Sammy killing the child Alan Kaiser. Whatever you want to do, my man. He's going to hitchhike to Texas. Okay. That's a hell of a hitchhike from New York. This guy is a bum. Good job, Lee. I appreciate it. Right now, I got 3 people that want to get in, and I can't see none of their faces. So, Tim, I already told you that. So, pretty much, I'm just going to ban you from the studio because you're not getting it. Mickey Griggs, how you doing, Mickey? I'm not sure if Sammy would do someone like him. Who knows? Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't know something about the guy. You just never know in Brooklyn. You know, there's lots of guys with pass in Brooklyn. Okay, I can't see your face, Kevin Lynch. So, what's up, Kevin?
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, Lee. How are you doing? Can you
Good.
hear
How
me?
you doing? Yep.
Good, good. I have an echo, so I'm sorry now.
No problem. Where you calling? Where you at?
I'm actually in Ireland here. Yeah.
Oh. So what would you like to discuss?
Yeah, I'm just hearing my echo, so that's why there's a delay. But no, I just wanted to praise the show. It's interesting stuff, the genre in general, and you know, it's amazing that these guys are actually talking, like the Sammy, the Gravano, and all the rest of them. But a few years ago, you know, we never had these guys talking,
No.
and it's great to hear their insight and their background, what they've been through.
Well, you know, Sammy grew up in Brooklyn, and he was a member of the Rampers and stuff. And a lot of those guys, those older guys that used to be part of that gang, there are some that are alive. So when they say that they're part of this old gang, sometimes they're telling the truth.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I find it very interesting. And look, I don't know if I was in this organization back in the day, you know, 90s, I would kind of be half afraid to talk, but it's great to hear their insight. And look, they're probably doing a lot of good too.
Yeah.
So yeah, so fair play. Keep up the good work, and hopefully good comes from all of this anyway.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, and you're welcome anytime.
Thank you. Best luck. Bye-bye.
Take care. Well, that's good to see people showing up in here. There's still a couple guys trying to get in. Let me see. Kevin. Kevin? What's up, Kevin? Okay, well, okay, sorry, guys. Let's see what... I'm not sure. Sammy probably thinks he killed Tony. Johnny Geberts is coming in. Johnny Geberts wants to come in. As you people know, Johnny Geberts is the guy that was killed by Johnny A-Light. Anthony will probably pretend not to see your comment. Okay, somebody knows who that guy is. Okay. Nick, even if he does know Sammy, I highly doubt Sammy is telling him to bother you. He is responding to last night's video. Okay, I don't remember. Actually, I don't remember calling him gay or anything like that. He said that something about Sammy fucking him in the ass or something. I wouldn't say that. So I don't know where he was coming up with this weird stuff. Every day, somebody else. Yep. Well, Ernest posted his last video from a dumpster behind the shop, right? Okay. What do you call funny? Hey, Tim, man, if you show your face, you're more than welcome. But you don't show your face. I don't know why you don't, Tim. Don Vito, people like Sammy have nearly 500,000 subs. If you go after him, one of them thousands of subs are going to go after you. Yeah, but you know something? If you feel like you're right about something, you got to do what you got to do. You know, I have no respect whatsoever for Sammy, especially after what he's saying about John Gotti. And listen, I'm not sticking up for John Gotti because I like the Gotti family or I like John Gotti. But the fact of the matter is, Don, you can appreciate this. John went to jail like a lot of the old timers. He did his time and he died in prison. You know, you got to give him that respect, don't you think? FBS sold out for Super Chats. You know, I don't know what to say there. I'm just very disappointed about the whole thing, but God bless him. I only wish him the best. I'm not going to be on here to attack him. He did what he did, but I'm not going to lower myself to that standard. Thank you all for your military service, men and women. Teresa, thank you. That's very nice for you to say that to people. Like, once a murderer, always a murderer. Especially when you're a cold-blooded murderer, if you're a serial killer, you know? Tony Pizza is in Atlanta. Now, I thought he was in Brooklyn. I think he's in Brooklyn, Frankie. If you know something I don't know, let me know. Anthony, let me tell you something. Unblock me, Lee. Anthony, right now there's about 10 Anthony Luciano Romandis running around, literally with that same picture that you have. Johnny, what's up, my man?
Oh, I'm on.
Yeah.
I keep the cam on, but I just don't like people to see my face. It's such a nasty genre.
Oh yeah, believe me.
I call on the mob rats. I wouldn't come on here and curse or anything. I just like to kind of be. In the
Yeah, I seen you at
mob.
Yeah, did you see Mob Rats on my show last night?
Yeah, I was watching. I had called into him. I think I was the last caller or clicker before he came onto your show.
Yeah, I was being accused of putting up these pages that I know nothing about, and I was glad that Mob Rats came in because he pretty much knows it's BS. And
right.
It's kind of sad because one of the guys that said he was my friend went on to that show and said awful stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, wow,
yeah.
When we start attacking people on here with false information, when we don't have facts and you say horrible things, it's a whole different level. It's a scumbag level. You just don't do that to people.
Yeah,
and
it's a real nasty environment for sure. But I think what Thin Gray Line did was pretty grimy. I think, if you watch the show, he had felt bad, I guess, because I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I guess he's jumping in between, trying to
that him and I were him and I were talking 2 minutes before that he went on, and even texting while he was on. I didn't watch it. I didn't realize he was saying this. And then last night when I came on the show, somebody told me on when MRE was here, and he came on my show last night.
Yeah, dude, it was horrible. I mean, he went on there, and Fatball Sicilian kind of was making him feel bad and abusing him. Honestly, he was trying to simp to him too. He was like, it was Lee Cole, and it seemed like he was trying to please Fatball Sicilian because Fatball Sicilian was so pissed off at him. Or I don't know what's going on in the background, but he's so angry. And then he's like, it was Lee Cole basically, and
it's funny, but here's what he didn't realize when he was saying that. Fatball Sicilian and his wife already knew that he was going back and forth between the two of us.
Right. Yeah. And I don't think
they were making
he's
fun
a
of
bad
him.
guy. I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think he's a bad guy, but I think he's just caught up in between this, and there's trolls, and they're believing the trolls and everything, and they just I don't want to offend you, but I don't think you, Thin Gray Line, or FBS have the biggest internet awareness. So you're a little vulnerable to getting trolled,
Yeah.
And
you know what they were doing? It's like MRE said. People were taking pictures. They were literally going into a family members of mine, into his show, and taking pictures and taking them and saying, see, his family's involved in this, and then showing the pictures to Sicilian, and he was buying into it. And,
right.
And it's sad because 2 hours before that, him and I were talking, and we had a great conversation. And to me, it's like this. If you got something to say to somebody, don't bring it to people on the show. Pick up the phone and call a person. Because all you're doing at that point is you're creating drama because you want a lot of people watching your show. And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, he was going crazy last night.
And I don't get nearly as many people watching as Sicilian does. He has a nice following. But, I'll be honest with you. I was very disappointed because I actually like him.
Yeah,
I don't think he's a bad guy, but I just think that he shouldn't be listening to these trolls.
I think Sicilian though also is a little thin-skinned. He'll always say that he's thick-skinned, but I think these things get to him, and he's easy prey for the trolls. And I mean it's just pretty clear. Yeah. And
you seen John Wolf come on last night in his rabbit suit, right?
Oh. Man, I was crying when that happened.
Hey, people, if you look up my video from last night, John Wolf came on, and he was literally had a rabbit suit on or whatever. It looked like a rabbit suit, and he's a troll, and he's been around for a long time. But if you go and look at that video and you want a good laugh, say you're depressed right now, go watch that.
That was hilarious. I was hopping back and forth between your show and Mob Rats, and I called on and I had to tell him about that. I was like, man, you got to see John Wolf over here with these fucking bunny ears. Oh, sorry, these freaking bunny ears.
Yeah, and actually, he liked it because he says he respects him as a troll. Because John Wolf is actually a very good troll, and and did you see that smirk that John Wolf had on his face when he was there?
Oh yeah, he's a normal guy. He's probably
he just couldn't. He wanted to laugh so bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was some classic programming last night.
Let me just read this real quick. Joey Electric, I don't trust in Gray Line. He was on Facebook, Facebook, on FBS saying Lee did the whole thing. Then when he was on Lee's channel, he was saying different. I know it wasn't Steve. It wasn't a pretty look.
No, Steven's right. And, I really think he started doing that because of FBS was kind of abusing him on there. Just like he's on there trying to apologize. And he just was like, all right, yeah, whatever, just making him feel bad. So then he just started to try to give him anything he could. He's like, I'll go down the road with you about Lee Cole. I'll tell you everything. We could do it.
Yeah, and I'm like, when I heard that, I was shocked. I was like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? Oh,
that was such a weak move, man. That was so beta.
And he doesn't realize that a lot of people that were watching it lost a lot of respect for him last night when he was doing that.
I had nothing ever bad to say about that guy. He still seems like a nice guy, but he
is a nice guy.
Yeah.
He got caught up in a bad moment.
Yeah. He just had a moment of weakness, I guess, But
FBS has nobody's called Sammy out. I believe that, I've called him out several times and people should call him out. Just because people don't want to call him out because he has a lot of followers. And then Jimmy Calandra's his friend. They don't want to upset Jimmy, So what do you think of this whole world? Huh?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm going to let you ask me a question.
Okay, I was going to ask you. So, do you think some of this controversy is stemming from Jimmy, with Fatball Sicilian or something like that?
Oh, without a doubt, absolutely. Because Jimmy and I got along great in the beginning, and then he asked me not to do a show on Alan Kaiser, and he asked me to stop talking about Sammy, and I wouldn't stop, and Jimmy just flipped on me 1, 2, 3, and it's never been the same since then.
Okay, so you know what I was thinking, because Fatball Sicilian had said, "Hey, we're gonna do a weekly show or something," me and Jimmy Calandra, and now all of a sudden that show hasn't started. I'm just wondering why that hasn't started. I wonder if he I want you to go after Lee Cole.
Well, something. It's just weird that it seems like there's quite a few people on the internet in this genre doing that. Josie. I mean, this woman's literally doxing me, and people are ignoring the fact that she's doxing another person. That's real doxing what she's doing. She's literally looking up my addresses where I used to live.
Did she post that?
No, she was talking about it. Yeah, she was actually saying he lived in 5 places over a certain amount of years in Wisconsin.
Oh gosh.
And then she's talking. And then she's talking about my criminal record. My criminal record's always been with money. It was a long time ago, and you're not going to see nothing bad in my criminal record, like I hurt somebody or took drugs or sold drugs. Mine's always been about money. And I hate to surprise her, but most of the people in the mafia genre have criminal records.
Right. As long as you didn't, rape a woman or molest a kid, I don't think we give a crap what you did. No one cares.
And she's literally there. And that's why I showed the video in the beginning. It's, and she doesn't realize how crimey she is. And that's why how there are certain people that are always talking about doxing on these shows.
Right.
But yet they're not saying nothing to her, even though she's doing it blatantly out in public.
I'll look into it. I don't know anything about it, but I mean, I'll check out what you're saying. And I mean, if it's true, I'll bring it up to Mob Rats if I call back in.
Well, you know what she did?
I know he's not for that.
You know what she did 2 weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago? She went and looked up all my Google reviews when I reviewed people. And she went on and she was reading my Google
so
reviews.
She's got your location like that. Wow.
Yes, she literally looked for my current location.
Okay. Yeah, that's out of bounds, man.
And she was mentioning where I lived in my current location. I mean, it was really creepy. And, you know, she has to be called out on this. This has to, you know, you don't do this crap to people.
Right. Yeah, for sure, man. That's crazy. This whole thing is just getting out of hand. It's just every night. I'm done with this. More drama.
You know, I did a show yesterday on John Gotti. I don't know if you've seen it earlier on John Gotti being, you know, Gravano saying a bunch of shit about him.
Right.
But nobody said to me, "Oh, good show." Not even the Gottis.
Right. Yeah.
And I stood up for their father. Not even the Gottis. That's why everybody is full of shit.
Yeah, you know, I got to give you credit too. I've been critical of you in the past, but I mean, you do have those tapes. I don't know if you're releasing more or what's going on with that, but I guess there really is tapes.
Yeah,
We've heard them.
Tanya released a couple, and she has a couple more.
And is there any more besides those?
Yes, Tanya has them. Yes,
she has them all.
Not all of them. She has some.
Okay. Okay.
There's some that I'm keeping for myself, but you know.
So what you're letting her release the Jimmy Cheeks tapes?
Yeah, right now we're working on Jimmy a little bit.
Okay.
And he's already called me and he threatened to kill me too. So, so right now, if I wind up dead, no one's going to know who did it. So, you know,
I guess we can narrow it down to him or Tony Pizza.
Yeah. Well, I told my ex, now's the opportunity time for you to kill me. You know, no one's going to think you did it. So,
right.
And what if you set up? Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Kill me and leave a pizza cutter next to me. Okay. Leah's been, you know, I actually feel like right now the product I've been putting out here has been very solid, and I hate the fact that we're getting caught up in the drama thing right now. But you know, I have no choice when someone comes at me like Josie and she's doxing me and talking about where I lived, and you know, or when I have a guy that's saying I did something that I absolutely did not do.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
And then you have this guy go on and say Lee swore on his kids, making me sound like a slime bag that would swear on my kids and be lying. That really bothered me.
Yeah, man. It's just gross. It's really just gross stuff. I don't know what else to say. It's just real nasty stuff, man.
Okay, Nick says, I was wondering if FBS cutting everyone off, Jen, like even Damien, whatever. He was saying he always gets pissed in the chat at haters, laugh out loud, ready to fight them all. Well, you know something, things are only going to get tougher. You know, as things aren't going to get better. And on top of that, you got all these rats getting out of jail. Where do you think they're going to platform? They're coming here. They're coming into YouTube.
Right.
You know, you're going to get a lot of them. I mean, unfortunately, you're not going to get no real gangsters. You're going to get the guys that ratted them out with the platforms, and they're going to be telling you how great of the gangsters they were.
That's right. It'll be interesting. I guess Gene Borello will be able to do a show soon too, right?
Yeah, but Gene's already done his show, and on top of that, one thing about Gene Borello, you know that he's going to actually get a good amount of viewers.
Oh yeah, no, his show will do well. It'll be past Fat Bald Sicilians. It should be probably around. Oh,
he's going to blow past all these guys.
You think? Yeah.
And on top of that, though, he actually has some legitimate stories. People could say what they want about Gene Borello, but the fact of the matter is he was an enforcer. People don't like to hear that, but he was. You know,
I don't know so much about his background, but yeah, from what I heard, he was a pretty tough guy in the street.
Well, I heard
I
heard this one story about a made man that lived in his neighborhood, and this guy was a made man. He was so scared of Gene that he left and moved out of the neighborhood, and he was a made man.
Yeah.
So you know. And then
that's how it is nowadays. Nobody's not nobody, but a lot of people aren't. You know, there's not killings. It's just if you're willing to beat somebody up, I guess.
And see, this is what I don't understand about John A-Light. There's no doubt that John A-Light did shit in his life, but his problem is that he embellishes them immensely. He says things that are ridiculous, And, the fact that he got through a prison in Brazil says a lot, because not many white people are going to go to Brazil, go to prison, and survive.
That's
and he
true.
did.
I mean,
he had
a
he
machete.
did.
He had a machete there to protect himself.
Well, he just did he actually just did a show that he talked about that.
Yeah.
And everybody keeps waiting for him to die off. He seems to keep popping up on new shows.
No, he's what, the third biggest mob tube guy. I mean, you got Michael, Sammy, and then the next guy is John. I think John A. Like,
I mean, every time he puts up a video, he seems like he gets 100,000 views.
I mean, listen, the guy is interesting. When I first saw him, I said, wow, this guy's interesting. Holy crap, he's killed all these dozens of guys. He's abusing everyone in the streets. Wow, this is interesting. But, if he would have just told the truth, it's still
just stick with his story.
Yeah,
don't say that. Don't say that you worked for John Gotti Sr. John Gotti Sr. had a certain handful of killers around him, and he just trusted nobody except those men. He didn't put nobody around him. And
he was like 18 years old at the time, too.
Yeah, he was actually 23 years old when Gotti took over. But Gotti had a certain team of men that he grew up with. These were the only men he trusted.
Look, Gotti's crew before he was the boss was known as a crew that could put work in. Now he's the boss. He's got all the other crews. He doesn't need John A. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like I was reading on his crew. His crew were some serious dudes. I mean, they were just cold-blooded killers that would put you in a hole and not even think twice about it.
Yeah.
And people can say what they want, but John Gotti, if he became the head of the family because he had a great crew around him and his men respected him. The men in his immediate circle respected him.
For sure. I mean, listen, they either respected him, and the other crews, if they didn't, they feared him, and that's how he took over.
I didn't even know Josie either until last night. Why do these channels care when people with 3 subs say about them? It's ridiculous. Lexi, here's the problem. If you look at the video she made on me, it has almost 500 views already. So she might not have a lot of subs. She actually has like 120 subs. But the fact of the matter is she puts it out there, and the people that want, she's there defending Stacks. Why anybody would defend Stacks is beyond me. I mean, that's just. Did you see when I played that video again last night on Stacks, and then he came in and said, "You're done"?
What was the video that you were playing?
When he got beat up.
Oh yeah. If him and Sonny Money, listen, if there's anyone Sonny Money might be able to beat up, it's got to be Stacks. The guy got beat up chasing someone with a 10-pound weight in his hands. Like,
when you have a weapon and you go into a fist fight with a weapon and you get your ass kicked, I mean.
Yeah, I can't. I was talking to Mob Rats about that last night.
Stacks hates me with a passion.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I guess probably because you did that show about him. Yeah.
Well, I came across that video. Someone sent it to me, and I gave it to Cane Shade, and he made it better, and I put it up. And then last night he was in my chat room being a wise ass, so I put it up again.
Right.
He didn't like that at all.
You see, I always watch all of your channels just to see the interviews and everything. But I think with YouTube, when you have this certain genre, there's content that you're all producing similar content, but it's not like there's a limited amount of supply. Like, we're all going to watch. If you have good interviews, we'll watch you. If Stacks has good interviews, we'll watch him. Fat Bald Sicilian, we'll watch him. But I think everyone thinks it's like a big competition, but I think you guys could grow bigger and better.
There's so much. And this is the mistake that Gunnar Lindblom made. Gunnar Lindblom made the statement that the mafia genre is only so big. I disagree with him. I believe that the mafia genre is only going to get bigger. And he doesn't do it as much, but if you look at his numbers, they went way down.
Right.
Because he walked away from the mafia genre. And the fact of the matter is, I had my station up for almost a year. Then I turned it into the mafia genre. And in 3 months, I was at 1,000.
Yep.
Because I just switched over.
Yeah, so I think there's definitely a certain amount of viewers that really like this drama. They really enjoy it. But someone like Gunner, he's got more subs. He's got like double the subs of Fat Bald Sicilian, I think.
Yeah,
but
he
I was
does.
watching one of his videos the other day. Had like 20 people on the live stream. There was
Yeah, he did. But that's happened once he got away from the mafia genre. But you know what? If it's working for him and if he feels more comfortable, I have a family member that has a show. He doesn't want to grow it. He's happy where he is. Some
Right.
people just don't want to grow their show too big.
You can't really blame him too to stay out of this drama. He kind of injected himself into this whole John A-Light situation early on. I don't know, it must have been over a month ago, but
you got to give him
after
credit.
that, he kind of hopped out.
And you got to give him credit. He pulled out. And you got to also, one thing you can say about Gunner, he did 13 years in prison, hardcore, and he never was a rat or anything like that. And he spent 13 years in prison.
Absolutely.
So people can say what they want, but would they say it to Gunner's face? That's the question.
No, I'm not critical of Gunner at all like that. The only thing I would have to say about him is how he kind of just injected himself into the John A-Light, Jimmy Calandra thing,
Well, he's friends with Larry Mazza, and he doesn't care who knows. He doesn't care who knows,
Yeah, you got to respect that, though, too, because he
he's
really
loyal.
doesn't care. Yeah.
There's not too much loyalty. There's not too much loyalty around here,
Right.
It's like I was saying before. There's no such thing as friends. You might think that someone's nice. The next thing you know, they're doing a show about you. It's like, dude, why don't you pick up the phone and call me? Why are you doing your show? That's kind of retarded, actually.
Yeah.
If you think that much about doing a show because you want to get back at somebody.
Right. Absolutely. So have you spoken at all to Fat Bald Sicilian since last night, since your stream, or?
No, actually, I sent him an email. He answered it. I sent him another email. I don't know if he answered it yet. Okay. And I honestly, I like the guy, and I'm shocked that he acts this way. But it's obvious that the trolls are taking advantage of him and making him think things that aren't really happening.
Right.
And you heard MRE last night. He said it. MRE knows me. He knows I wouldn't do that.
The thing is, we all know you kind of. It's just, you could be doing it. You could have someone doing it, but I think it's highly unlikely. And unless there's I would be, I wouldn't do it. Serious proof of that. You can't just kind of throw those things around. Like, you got to show that evidence. But I would say to Fat Bald Sicilian, if he's listening, you have a great show. When he did the interview, I think it was with Bobby Borello's son.
One of the best interviews I've seen.
Yeah, man. He does amazing work. He actually and even with Jimmy, he did a great interview with Jimmy. He really kind of gets into. He can get into topics that maybe they wouldn't do in a normal interview.
Oh, I love the way that he pulled the Bath Avenue story from the time they were young, the crew, right, and what happened to them. That crew actually, most of them met a very horrible ending.
Yeah, for sure. There's only what's there, Jimmy and is it Joey Calco around?
Well, Reynolds is in prison for the rest of his life. Calco.
What about the guy Fabrizio? He might. I don't know if he's dead or alive.
Well, I think he's the one guy that got made. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, he was made. Yep.
Lee, talk about Times Square and Times Square. I would like to know about that. I'm planning on doing that. And also, so people know, I'm working with an author right now, and a book's been approved by Simon Schuster. We're going to do a book on. Basically, it's a combination of Vince McMahon and my brother's autobiography combined. So that they've already accepted for the book and everything, and it's probably going to be out in mid 22. And the author writing the book already has bestsellers.
Wow!
Yeah, so
congratulations.
It's a big thing. It's really a big thing.
That's great.
And we're really looking forward to it.
That's great.
I always hope the author doesn't see this crap going on, saying, "What the hell are you doing over there?" Just concentrate on the book.
That really though, that's what a lot of you guys got to consider too. It's it might get you some short-term YouTube views, but even Fat Bald Sicilian, who was making the point, these people might not want to come on his show with all this drama going on. He's fighting with this guy, he's fighting with that one, John A. blah blah blah. It's a lot of
drama. This is what's hypocritical though. everybody's fighting with everybody. It's not just one person, you know?
Right.
It's just happening. If you're going to go after John A. Light, you're fighting with John A. Light. It doesn't matter that you consider him on the other side. I'm going to be honest with you. What I've come to learn, there are no other sides here. I'm not going to take any sides. I'm going to put who I want on this show. I'm going to interview who I want. I'm not a Gotti person. I don't give two hoots about A-Light. That's it. And I'm learning the hard way. The people that claim to be on the Gotti side have done more to hurt me than the other side.
Right.
You see it. Look what's happening. I don't see they talk shit about Gene Barillo. Gene Barillo, he put up some pages on me, pedophile pages, but he does that to everybody. But look at the crap that I go through every night with the people that claim they're all about John Gotti.
Right.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. A question.
Yep.
So Sammy comes on and he's talking. He changes the story about John Gotti, and all the people on the Gotti side don't say anything. Don't you find that kind of weird?
No, I agree. Listen, I give you credit for that, for making that video, and I do think that sometimes you don't get enough credit for some things you do, but you also got to realize you kind of I think you've rubbed some people the wrong way, which kind of you left a bad taste in some people's mouths. You know what I mean? So I think So that's
I understand that, but don't we all?
Yeah, I guess.
I'm not platforming a guy who's stolen valor. That's worse than anything I've ever done. So
yeah.
And yet that person that's platforming that guy with stolen valor is everybody else's friend.
Right.
This is why this is all hypocritical. There's no loyalty here. We have to do our shows based on ourselves, and it's nobody's goddamn business who I bring on my show. That's what it comes down to.
Right. Well, everyone's always going to be out for themselves. That's just how it is.
Yeah. And if I don't care who anybody has on their show. The stolen valor thing, I don't like it, but I can't tell Stax who to have on his show. I could say, Stax, I don't like it, but I can't stop him.
Hey, Luciano, he was saying the other day though, like he seems confident too when he talks. So it's like, most of his story seems like nonsense, but he seems pretty confident.
Something, he might be like John A. Light. When you start saying stuff, you start believing it.
That's probably true.
If you say it enough, you just start believing that's the truth. And anybody with a half a brain knows there's no way that you did anything you're describing in the military,
Right.
Did you see my interview with the group from Stolen Valor? I did an interview. I actually had them on a show about a week ago. And they basically came out and said that this guy's a fraud. And they said,
what was that group? Was it the what were they called? The group
for the Green Berets?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He was just talking about them the other day. He's like, they can't get the records for. He's like, the freaking jerk offs can't get the records for this amount of months and blah blah blah. Like he's like,
they literally. Then he's saying that they tried to get money out of him. They went to his house and they came on my show. I did an actual live interview with them. Do you think that any of the other channels talked about that interview?
Right. Yeah.
That was a live interview, and it was the first one where the group showed up on someone's show. Yeah. And but no one talked about it. It was just like, I'll attack Anthony Raimondi, but when facts come in and evidence pops up, 100% evidence, no one wanted to hear it anymore. And that's the problem.
Yeah. But the thing is, once you're fighting with someone, they're not going to give you that play. They're just
I wasn't fighting with that. I wasn't fighting with
you weren't fighting with anyone at that time?
Nope.
Okay. So it's hard to know. It's like a constant state of war over here, it seems like. But can I ask you a question? I'm curious, and I hope you don't get mad at me, but
I'm not going to get mad.
Okay, so the tape with Gene Barillo, to a lot of us, it kind of seemed like staged. It kind of seemed like a weird recording, almost that was set up in a way. Like, what do you?
Well, because it was so good.
I don't know how good it was, but it seemed just.
Let me put it this way. Now, when these tapes first came out, what's the first thing you heard? Oh, Lee's full of shit. There are no tapes. Now that the tapes are out, how excited does anybody seem? Not too excited, do they?
Right. I think we need some John A-Light tapes. You know, I think that's Jimmy A-Light's good.
But Jimmy A-Light's but see, you have to do it as a pyramid. You got to start.
No, I get it. Give us.
You got to start. You can't start from the top and work your way down.
Give us the associates first, and then we'll get Donaletto at the end.
Yes, exactly. And you got to remember too, John A-Light's a lot smarter. He doesn't. He's more of a text guy, where the other guys talk on the phone more. Right. John A-Light is always suspicious of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. Like a lot of people call him dumb. He's far from dumb. This is what really gets me too. When people say he's dumb.
Yeah, well, when you're a street guy, you got to be a little cunning. You got to have some common sense. It's
like I was talking to someone. They said to me, so what would happen if Gene had a fight with Jimmy Calandra? I said, he would ragdoll Jimmy Calandra. It wouldn't even be close. It would be a blowout. And this person, because they hate Gene so much, was saying, that's not true. I was like, dude, I heard about how Gene street fights. He's a street fighter.
I heard Jimmy trains, though. I don't know. It depends how. If Jimmy Calandra's been doing jiu-jitsu for long enough.
Jimmy is a 51-year-old man. You're talking about a 51-year-old man against a 6'1", a 6'1", 30.
How tall is Jimmy?
5'7", 5'8", maybe.
Yeah.
And you're talking about a guy who's 6'1" and goes out to the gym and works out every day at the gym.
Yeah, that's true. But
I'm talking about Gene Barillo.
I've seen athletic guys. I train a lot of jiu-jitsu myself, so I've seen athletic guys come in the gym, and I got 60-year-old guys in the gym that are brown belts, purple belts. I don't know if Jimmy's at that level, and Gene would get strangled by them unless he's training, grappling.
Yeah,
they would strangle.
No, we're talking about street fighting here.
Yeah, no, even in the street though, they would strangle him in the street.
Yeah.
They would strangle him.
Nowadays you never know. That's the problem. Nowadays you never know who you're fighting.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, listen, I'm just saying, if he encountered him in a fight, it doesn't even have to be the gym. If it's 1-on-1, that's what I mean. But of course,
I'll tell you this. How come Jimmy attacks me, but he won't say nothing about Jimmy? He never says something about Gene, who said this stuff.
Say that again.
Have you ever noticed that Jimmy's been attacking me, but he won't say nothing to Gene? All the stuff, Jimmy. You know why? Because Gene lives 4 blocks from him.
Oh, does he?
Yes, that's why. There's a lot of things that people don't understand that's going on behind the scenes.
Also,
I happen to know that Gene Barillo sent a text to Jimmy Calandra and said, if you mention my name, I will beat your ass. Okay? So if Jimmy wants to challenge what I just said, challenge it, Jimmy, but that's what I hear.
Gene, though, Gene, I had seen Gene, and he, even when they were beefing, he wasn't too critical, really, of Jimmy. He wasn't, he didn't get nasty, even after he had been attacking A-Light for saying, hey, he's a liar. I never smacked Peter Gotti or Gene Gotti or whoever it was.
Yeah. There's no way that anybody ever smacked Gene Gotti. You don't smack a captain. I mean, that's unheard of. If you did that, you're going to be killed, and Jimmy said he didn't do it. And I believe him, that's just something that, once again, John A-Light making shit up.
Yeah. The thing though, too, with Gene, I mean, he's on papers. Like if he's got to be out of his mind to be sending threats to Calandra. And, I mean, he's a government witness, no? Is he? I don't even know if he's still actively a witness. I mean, I guess Calandra is.
They're all witnesses for the rest of their life. They're witnesses for the rest of their life. I was talking to somebody about this last night. If you're on paper, even if once they release you, they can call you up one night and they can bring you in. They own you for the rest of your life. You never go away from them.
Right.
I mean, that's it. Once you sign that deal, that's in the contract too. They own you.
Yeah.
And And matter of fact, you cannot threaten a government witness, because if you threaten them, the FBI, like if I came on right now and threatened one of the government witnesses, they can pick up the phone and call their handler, and that handler will have you arrested.
Right, right. So you see, that's kind of was my point with like Gene sending him a threat. Like he's he's an informant. He's a witness threatening another witness. So I mean, I don't know if you know that's true for sure, but it sounds like something Gene might do because he's kind of nuts, but he's always looking to get back in trouble. But you never know.
The claim is 2 separate recordings with Lee and Gene. The one that was released was re-recorded, where Lee is more diplomatic and not attacking people. Okay, Jason. It's obvious that you've been talking to someone, Jason. I don't know who you've been talking to, but it's obvious you have been. I know real gangsters would make Gene cry. There's no doubt. Of course you know real gangsters that would make Gene cry. I'm not making him into something he's not. Shit. There's some serious dudes out there, man. Gene from Queens, Jimmy from Brooklyn, 20 years older than Gene. Exactly. It's an age thing. If they were both the same age, who the hell would know what happened between the two of them? But if a 51-year-old man fights a 36-year-old man, usually it's not going to go too well for that 51-year-old man. Hootie actually has interesting stuff to talk about when he isn't high. And I agree with you, Nick. He really does when he's not high. But you never know what you're going to get with him. All of you seem like you're attacking each other and get mad when you get attacked. This is taken away from all your channels. This is now the Beef Sector Mob Edition. But Pretty Monita, did you see the show that I did yesterday on John Gotti and Sammy Gravano? I mean, I'm trying to put product out there, but if you get attacked, you've got to defend yourself. If you don't, you will be eaten up in this genre. Gene is nobody, home invader that was never made, street punk who put other books of clout. Rebel Roy, there's no doubt what you're saying, but that doesn't mean that he can't handle himself. That's what I'm saying. It's not easy to grab a gun and to run into someone's house and rob that house, especially if they're drug dealers. It's just not that easy. But Hootie makes himself more important and tough than what he was. Probably, Nick. You're absolutely right. A lot of people say that. Real streets aren't going to document their threats on YouTube. Until Jimmy didn't go along with Gene Gotti's slap. Lee, technique and training are beating street fighters 99% of the time, without a doubt. You're absolutely right. I mean, you got to remember now. Well, now it's like with martial arts and jiu-jitsu and stuff. Fighting is nothing like it used to be. You could be fighting someone and take them to the ground, and then you think you're on top of them and you're going to win. And the next thing you know, you're fighting a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and he's choking you out. Gene will get slapped if he gets crazy with the wrong person. That's any person. Gene, any human being. If you mess with the wrong person, there's just, of course. Mobsters in the past have invaded homes and sold drugs in areas, which led to the rise in home invasion. The rest of the mob has no place dissing him for that. Actually, Chris, you're right. People try to glorify the mafia, but they've been dealing drugs forever. That whole myth that they don't want to deal drugs. If you listen to the Ruggiero tapes, when Ruggiero talked about dealing heroin, and in all reality, Ruggiero should have been taken out right away, but they didn't take him out. I mean, Ruggiero is responsible for starting that whole thing between Castellano and John Gotti. You guys don't talk about the mob. You talk about each other. James, I just talked about the mob just now. I was just talking about Ruggiero. The most serious gangster I ever met was Frank Lacasio. I've been watching and paying attention like everyone else. Well, I know you're on these. I know you're on these channels, Jason, but I also know when you're in these other rooms, you say some nasty shit about them too. Okay, Jimmy's Kung Fu Panda. Okay, depends on the 50-year-old. Oh yeah, without a doubt, it does depend on the 51-year-old man. You know, but we're talking about a 51-year-old man that's in shape. You know, Chris, are you saying he was a roast? Hootie's a gentleman compared to just about everyone else. Yeah, he came off okay. He just has a drug problem. If he can beat that, he'd be fine. Oh, Johnny Gebberts, even though we know that's not yours. Appreciate you being on. That was awesome, man. You asked some great questions, and you're welcome to come on anytime you want. I like when people come on and ask me questions also. So if anybody else is here that wants to come on, just let me know. Lee Cole, you are one of the better ones. You give platform to people who are for and against you. Yeah, you have to. You can't just ignore the people that are against. But so does Mob Rats. Mob Rats brings on people that are against him too. It's a good thing. James, all he does is whine, moan about people attacking him every single day. GG Gorgeous. But you know what, GG Gorgeous? I'm glad to have you here. And you're entitled to that opinion. It's all good, Johnny Gabbert. Okay. Bring a gun, no such thing as a fair fight in the streets. You're absolutely right, Amanda. It's, I remember back in the day, and I sound like an old person now, but you knew when you had a fist fight, you were in a fist fight. Now you just don't know what you're in, Anything can happen now. Lee, if you've never seen Gene or one from that matter, Rumble, please stop thinking they're tough guys because they say so. Actually, no, I don't talk to him about that. I'm talking about things I've heard from actual people. So that's just my opinion. Boot Hill, I'm entitled to my opinion. If you're like one of these haters that hate on him and want to make him into a pussy, people have to understand when a guy's an armed robber and he commits crimes and stuff, that takes balls to commit crimes like that. It's not something people can just do. When you're robbing banks or you're robbing whatever, it takes balls. They all do, Nick, except for Sammy the Snitch. Yeah. Yep, Sammy the Snitch, without a doubt. He's the worst of the worst. It was like, if I was like it was years ago, Gene would have been whacked. Oh, without a doubt. Don, you're absolutely right. All these guys would have been whacked. Every damn one of them. Could you imagine if John Gotti was alive and this shit was going on? John Gotti would take out every one of these guys. Every damn one of them. It's amazing, though. You hear the things they say and stuff now, and within a short time, up until the mid-90s, if you did any of this stuff, you would have been taken out. But, once the RICO law came in, they just started getting everybody off the streets. And if one guy committed the crime, a guy that he barely knows gets charged with the same RICO crime, and everybody started snitching. C. Gennaro Boots 33. Oh, I really know him. He's honest. And I don't know what you. A college wrestler would beat the taste out of the Bath Avenue Tattlemouth. It depends. You don't know that. First of all, a college wrestler has to take you to the ground. If you hit him in the face before he takes you to the ground, he'll go down. Seems like a nice kid. Don't know him except from FBS show. Boy, there's a lot of stuff to read here, people. You guys are writing away. In my neighborhood, everyone learned to use their hands. That's true. In certain neighborhoods, it's just like that. Antonio, how you doing, my man? I think I sent you an email today. I don't know if you received it. No, not the Chris Johnny Gebert. Okay. But I can't. Every family had heroin dealers, absolutely. And then, that's why it sucks when you hear the mob used to never deal drugs. Bullshit. The mafia's been dealing drugs. When you had Lucky Luciano get sent back to Italy, he was running one of the biggest heroin organizations in the world. And that was back in the 50s. So that whole thing about the mafia not dealing drugs is a bunch of bullshit. They've been dealing drugs for half a century. Depends totally on the guy who kind of shapey and yep. Madman, yeah, I hear a snitch part, of course, but his stories are coming from the horse's mouth, He was there at the top. That's why everyone is listening at the edge of their seats. Hey, Brooklyn Guy, appreciate you showing up. Brooklyn Guy, if you guys haven't seen his channel, it's actually pretty interesting. I know I joined it a long time ago, so please feel free to go to his channel and join. It's worth it. He tells very good stories. Keep on being entertaining, Self Lee. Thank you. I appreciate you. You say that to me a lot, and I really appreciate it. I told you, Lee, hit Schmiegel 24/7, remove Snake's head, never take the foot off Schmiegel's neck, hit him where the dollar is. Exactly. Sammy walks around with 8 bodyguard lives in a compound, lives in a compound and still thinks he's boss. He still acts like he's a gangster. It's kind of pathetic, actually. Yes, I am one of his loyal subs. What happened with Jimmy now? I don't know what you're talking about. What did he do? I have no idea what he did. He hasn't spoken about me in a couple of days, but I'm sure that's going to change. Name one thing nasty that I've said about them. I'm not talking about trolling Ramondi. How much was your? I don't understand what you mean. How much was my advance? Are you talking about for the book? That's something kind of personal. Okay. Unfortunately, a lot of people have drug problems. Oh my gosh. Did you hear about how much fentanyl is coming across the border now? It's so out of control. They just want to make us all high so we can't fight back. That's the whole point of our government letting all these drugs into the country. They could stop it in one day. They want us all to be drug addicts. And if we're all drug addicts, we're going to let the government do whatever it wants to do. They're already doing whatever they want to do. Notice the trend. Tony Pizza puts FBS in the turtle. He gets a bunch of views. Then he gets views as well. He is just struggling, dude. It's sad. Thank you, Antonio. I hope I'm not always funny. I don't want to be funny when I'm not supposed to be. I can't believe I'm doing this instead of football. So I'm just about wrapping up because I want to watch the 4:00 game. In the 80s in New York, if you were getting money, you had your hands in the drug industry, period. Yep. Boot Hill Cruise is exactly what FBS has even done to call out. John Alight, he just came out of nowhere. Do you know, I've never, before I entered this mafia genre, I never even heard of John Alight. Didn't even know who he was. And then all of a sudden, it's like everybody, like John A. Light's this huge thing. John A. Light's on everybody's brain here. I want to set these fights up. We all meet at a schoolyard. Well, I'm not fighting nobody. I'm too old for that shit. Steve Gennaro Boots, honestly, he can seem a bit upset. Yesterday, I fell asleep watching the show. Did you go back? Don't hate. I think Calandra can handle himself. It's my belief. I think Jimmy can handle himself without a doubt. It's not hating. I just don't think he could handle himself against Gene. That's just my opinion. Jim Morello was an actual violent guy in his days. Don't get it twisted. That's documented facts. See, Deslato, it's good that you're actually logical because it is a fact that he was a very violent man. The thing, Lee, is you'll believe anything that people tell you. Gene is no tough guy. I didn't say he was a tough guy. I said he's tougher than Jimmy Calandra. Okay, send a kite with your location to the commission. Okay. Don Vito, it really depends how good Jimmy is. I'm not trying to be cocky, but if Gene doesn't train like that, I know I would take him down. But Jimmy is older, and I don't know how much he's trained. It's called once you hit 50, and I'm talking from experience, once you hit 50, you're nothing like you were before 50. 50 is like the magic age. That's when you just don't have, your brain says, yes, I do, but you just don't have it. That's why you don't see 50-year-old guys fighting in the ring, or, you just don't see it. You see lots of guys in the mid-30s fighting in the ring, but not when you're 50. That's just, your body gets older, you get weaker, whether you like it or not. It's just nature. Years ago, Gene would not have been on the same block with real guys. But do we really know that, boot hell? It takes a certain type of person to be a gangster, And this is not me defending him. This is saying that 20 years ago, he actually was in the streets. So if he was in the streets 20 years ago, how long are you talking about? I've seen guys walk in the gym and give blue belts trouble. Oh, yeah, the gas pipe. Didn't gas pipe turn out to be the most disgusting piece of shit in the world? A rat, and look what gas pipe came in the end. No loyalty to anybody. He was just a mean, evil man. Lee Cole, John Gotti would take you out as well. Probably. Yeah, you might have a good point there. Jimmy never robbed a bank. He broke into a night drop box. Yeah, something, James, you have a great point there. It takes a whole different ball game. When you look at these bank robbers that came from Boston, up in that South Boston, these guys were like literally professional bank robbers in the 80s and the 70s. I mean, that's what they did. And you're absolutely right. Robbing a bank, and they would have been Fred to Roy DeMeo. Oh, Roy DeMeo is in a whole different class by himself. But Roy DeMeo also had killers around him. He was like John Gotti. Roy DeMeo had killers around him. That's why nobody messed with John Gotti. But who killed Roy DeMeo in the end? It was two of his own men. Boudel exactly was the low-level thug that he used to abuse, knowing he was trash. The real gangsters are the Westies. The Westies were they were gangsters, but they were a bunch of alcoholics too. And the problem with the Westies is sometimes they were too drunk to do anything. And, I witnessed this with my own eyes. I mean, they literally were drunk. They hung out at McHale's bar there, and they would, instead of going out and committing crimes, they would stay at the bar for 8 hours and they would wobble out. Half of the Westies died of alcohol poisoning. I mean, literally, a couple of them literally dropped dead in the street when they're in the mid-30s from alcohol. And that's probably what kept the Westies from surviving. They were all drug addicts and drunks. James, they robbed the bank inside with Chris, whatever his name is. Chris, whatever his name is. That's the guy that's now a multimillionaire and just bought a $3 million house in Miami. So Chris actually wound up doing pretty good in life. John Gotti, he would order Sammy to handle it. And then Sammy would handle it. Sammy would hire someone to handle it. The difference between guys like Jimmy C and Gene, whoever will crack you in mid-sentence. Yes, Don, you would do somebody else if they're not allowed to speak. Jason, I've never said anything nasty about you content creators. I've made some trolling comments about some of the rats who are liars, but not any of yous. Well, Jason, if you didn't say anything about me, I appreciate that, but I just can remember seeing a couple things. Maybe I'm wrong. A college wrestler is a nightmare. A D1 wrestler is basically a purple belt level. They can come in and maul good grapplers, without a doubt. I mean, a great wrestler would beat a great jiu-jitsu guy. Lee, it does not take balls to rob old people. Why didn't he rob people in bet? Are you saying that all he robbed was old people, Richie? Are you buying into the myth? See, this is the problem. I mean, people put this stuff out there. Like, how do you know all he did was rob old people? It's like Gene is a rat. He is a rat. There's no doubt he's a rat. But he was also an enforcer for a boss. And he did everything the boss told him to do. So, you know, you could say that, but he was an enforcer for one of the bosses. Not some guy, low-level guy. It was for one of the bosses. And, you know, that's the reality. You know, people dislike people so much, they want to, you know, make them into something they're not, like they're pussies or wimps and stuff. I don't think any of those guys were pussies or wimps. You had to have something in you. People scared to fight these days, they need weapons. Well, you just don't know who you're fighting anymore. They just put a weapon, take a weapon on you. John Gotti took down the entire Gambino family because he insisted on being a movie star. You know, James, I can't argue with that. You know, a lot of people say that, you know, because he was too out in the open. Mob guys dealt drugs, except they weren't street corner dealers. They were more suppliers. But you know what, Antonio? No matter what, it always got to the street corner. They may have been the suppliers, but those drugs wind up on the street corners. Passport TV, Jimmy Calandra robbed gumball machines. Actually, Jimmy did some serious robberies. My uncle Ralph wrestled in Brown University, took jiu-jitsu, and was a brown belt a month later. James Brown, that's not true, man. He liked being in the spotlight. He wasn't the first guy to be like that in a long shot. He stood up in that. Hypocrites, mad at some guys for selling smickety, mad at some for home invasions, mad at some for ratting, while not mad at other rats. That, you know something, Chris? You said it perfectly. People come on here and they go after John A-Light. And they say he's a rat. But yet, they're friends with other rats. So it's hypocritical. You know, if you're going to be friends with a rat, you can't go after other rats. That's how I look at it. Everybody should be treated the same. You just go after whoever you want. If you don't like a rat, go after that rat. But, you know, if you're going to hang with a rat, don't go after rats because you're hanging with a rat. Yeah, and he brought the attention to, that's why Carlos Gambino died of old age and John in prison. Yep. But, you know, I wonder if I could say to John Gotti, what would you do different? Would he have done something different, James? I mean, would he have done it the same way? Let's face it, John Gotti is probably the most known gangster ever. The name John Gotti is, you know, whether you like him or not, that's the most popular gangster name ever. Maybe Al Capone and Lucky Luciano. But I don't think Al Capone or Lucky Luciano's names are nearly as famous as John Gotti's. The mafia always sold heroin big time, but they did stop officially in the 70s, I think. PC Don Carlos. But you know what? The reality is that they wanted him to stop, but they were still selling it behind it. How do you think it was hitting the streets? Do you know how much heroin was in the streets in the 70s? back then I was in Times Square working. All you seen was heroin addicts everywhere. How do you think that heroin got to them? I mean, who controlled that area back then? The mob. Passport on Calandra was a hanger-on. The big boy's names he remembers, and he drops them. That's the case with a lot of gangsters. These other channels that attack Lee every day, we're all still watching him. It would be very satisfying if he ended up with the most subs, viewers, etc., and the rest went down, flaming pit. Well, you know something? I got some things planned for this station that's going to surprise people. I'm sorry, not channel. I got some things that it doesn't matter where you start off. It matters where you finish. And that's the most important part. I'm just glad to be right where I am. I never thought I was going to be this far at this time. So people, in a year from now, we don't know who's going to be where. We just don't know. This is YouTube. Things change overnight. There was a mob guy that I forgot him. He was a Gambino pushing drugs in Best-Stuy. And that was in the 70s, right? I don't know him standing up. They had enough evidence to evict him. Hey, James, I appreciate you had some really interesting stuff during the show today. Really appreciate it. I love when people like you come on and just know what they're talking about, because I actually learned quite a bit of stuff myself. Thank you. Al Capone is more international than Gotti. Capone is like Snoop Dogg in the moves. Sorry for that weird comparison. But you know what? I would say Al Capone would probably be the only one that you could put right there with Gotti. Al Capone. And people don't realize Al Capone was only out there in the streets until his mid-30s. He got arrested very young and he died very young. And he died of syphilis. And it was a horrible, horrible death. It is bad to do wasn't much of a snake because he actually could have had a good channel, but he is a Dunsky. Yeah, Tony Pep. Tony Pizza said, I don't know who Tony Pep is. Tony Pep was actually a Florida guy. So I'm wondering how Tony Pizza knew him. Because, where's Tony Pizza from? Because Tony Pep ran stuff down in Florida. Madman, he does not speak of a lot of things, people that he needs. But they're interested in talking around. Johnny Popsy knew a few people when he was 20. He's 60 now and has been in the street 30 years in the garbage pail. Lee Cole, people forgot how bored the FBI of New York was, bored after the collapse of the USSR. They needed someone to test surveillance toys on. Great point. Great point. It's true. And, here's why the Russian mob's so advanced. And this is what people don't realize. The Russian mob came to this country and they did a number on the mafia because a lot of those guys that came here from Russia were ex-KGB agents and they were very sophisticated in spying. They had all the modern equipment and they were way above at that time, they just jumped right above the mafia because they were so well trained. Tony Pep was a Queens guy and he operated in Florida. Thank you, Antonio. Light was pushing H in the 70s with Angel Quack. He was like 15 years old and calling shots. Okay. James, Jimmy was a master following. He was not a leader. Now Sammy has him by the nose. I totally agree with that. Yeah, God, I hate anchovies. You call that one, my man. MTR looks like he's going Patreon only. Very disappointed. I understand trying to make a buck, but I don't know. I just hate the whole Patreon, pay me out there. You know something? Nobody's going to go into your Patreon unless they like your product. So if he puts up a Patreon page and people buy into it, it's because they like it. I personally think he'll do pretty good with a Patreon page. I just think he will. Gunsmoke, how coping with FBS News. I'm going to have abused a kid tonight. Okay. Well, listen, people, I've been on for quite a while today. I didn't think I was. I always say that. But I appreciate everybody that showed up. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate the people that like Don Vito and Boot Hill and just, several guys here. Even you, Joey Electric, even though you're kind of radical. But Joey says, FBS marked it for Patreon, and now look what he's doing. I don't think he mocked them. I'm not sure how he did that, Joey. Okay, guys, have a nice one, and I will see you soon, most likely tomorrow. I've had 3 shows this weekend. They all did really well, and I'd like to thank you for being here. And once again, thank you so much. I'll see you guys soon.